Hello dear televiewers, and thanks for joining us on this special edition on DMR TV. Today we're going to the Diocese of Kumbo, where we're going to be discussing with the Bishop of that diocese, who's going to paint a picture of how the Christians have been surviving during this period and the different activities which they've been engaging. So we're going to zoom into the diocese with the discussion which we're going to have right after this break. You're welcome back, dear televiewers. On today's edition of this special broadcast, we'll be talking to His Lordship George Nko, the Bishop of the Diocese of Kumbo. Greetings, my Lord, and thanks for joining us on this special program.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here to share the experience of the Diocese of Kumbo on your television.
Okay.
First of all, congratulations to this beautiful, beautiful media communication which I have discovered here in Buea.
Thank you so much, my Lord. As a local ordinary of the Diocese of Kumbo, can you maybe give us a picture of that diocese in terms of deaneries, parishes, and your collaborators, the priests, and also the religious that are in that diocese?
Well, the Diocese of Kumbo, I would say, was actually created in March 1982. And we are in our Ruby Jubilee year, so it's been a very festive year for us in the Diocese of Kumbo. And since the creation of the diocese, it has grown, it's enormously grown. And I can say we have about 7 deaneries with about 40 parishes, and I have close to 130 priests who are there, and religious. There are so many religious in the Diocese of Kumbo and many congregations that I am not even able to remember how many of them are there, but we are very blessed with so many religious congregations who are serving there, and many sons and daughters of the Diocese of Kumbo also who have joined many of the other congregations that are there out there in the church. Okay,
now how will you describe the people, that the Christian population of the Diocese of Kumbo?
The Diocese of Kumbo, first of all, is in a rural area, and it has been for over 100 years the seat of the faith. Kumbo Diocese is known as one of the areas where the faith has enormously taken great roots. We have people of God, great Christians who have come from Kumbo. And we have men of the church who have, we have priests and bishops and religious who have made their mark in the church in Cameroon, who are also sons and daughters of Kumbo. So Kumbo is a land of great faith. And the faith is very much alive, even in spite of what we have had to go through now. The Catholic Church has been vibrant, has been actually the mark that defines what Kumbo is at the moment, I would say.
Okay. Now, your diocese happens to be in a crisis-laden diocese. So to what extent has this Anglophone crisis affected the church in that part of the country?
I would almost say that Kumbo has been most hard hit by this crisis, in a sense that a lot of people have suffered enormously, and it has taken time, and it's still taking us a long time to get through the crisis, because since the crisis has come, life has almost come to a standstill. We have had no schools, no institutions are functioning, even traditional institutions have halted, and people have been killed and tortured, and the crisis has had its real impact enormously in Kumbo. But I would say that even in spite of that, the church has fortunately, none of the parishes was ever closed. Schools were closed, of course, and so on. Many of our hospitals and health centers have suffered enormously because they've had very great difficulties. Roads were blocked, and life was practically very impossible. Many days of lockdown and shutdowns and so on. But I can only say that God has been very close to the people who have suffered enormously, because the church has been very present, has been there present with the people, and we have tried to reassure the people that, in spite of all that we have got to go through, it is still possible to live and to survive. A lot of people migrated and moved out of Kumbo. Huge, a huge population of Kumbo has immigrated to nearby towns and villages where they could survive, and even to neighboring Nigeria. And so we have had to go through a very difficult time indeed. But I can assure you, the people that are left behind have given us great hope. They're the kind of, and now we keep calling them that, and now we're in the remnant few who have remained to give us signs of hope, and that it's possible, to hope that life will change and things become better in the near future.
Okay, my Lord, now you said no parish actually shut down, but schools did. And we know that despite the massive rural exodus that we witnessed during this period, not everybody moved away. How did the church, what happened to the children, the children who were of school-going age in these areas, who could not migrate?
We have tried, in fact, a lot of children moved out. I give people a concrete example. In Kumbo, in the Bui division, for example, there were about 42,000 children in government secondary schools alone. Just imagine for 3-4 years, no government school has functioned. So what has happened with those children? Not to talk about the Catholic schools and the other denominational schools that have existed. A lot of children moved out. There were massive exodus. But those who had no place to go to, those who remained because they had no place to go, they would not afford to go to the Yaoundé, Douala, Bafoussam, and so on. They remained. And we have tried in various ways to keep the children there going. We have had, in quote, what they call schools, but they call them doctrine classes, because we're not allowed to run the schools. So somehow in the parishes, they try to keep the children busy, giving them some kind of help and training them some skills. They did a lot of skills with them, and somehow we did our best to keep the children in the parish who could not go anywhere else busy, and even took care of them in various ways. We did that a lot. So it's been a very difficult time for that to happen. But I can say that those who remained, some of our schools were run like doctrine classes under that umbrella, but somehow we kept them alive and kept them going, and to reassure them and to give them hope in those circumstances.
Okay, now talking about away from the children, we maybe had some adolescents and maybe some teens who didn't migrate. How did the church cater for these children who are actually in the community and were not going to school? How do you keep these youngsters in check?
One of the beautiful things that we have in the Diocese of Kumbo has been there from the beginning of the diocese is that we have a powerful youth ministry. And in our parishes, we have the Youth Commission, we have the Youth Chaplains, we have the Youth Federation of Catholic Youth, and they did enormously at the very level of the parishes, the deaneries, and at the level of the diocese to organize with our benefactors some activities that will keep the children attentive to. But it worked. But what we also noticed that there are a number of situations that grew out because children could not go to school. There were some deviant behaviors. The children, young girls at 17, 18, 16, even younger, got pregnant, got abused, got into attitudes and behaviors that we know are very, 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 very unhealthy because they had no other choice, and there was some forced situations which were very unhealthy, as you can see. But the church is present there, and accompaniment with some of the children, try to relieve them, to recuperate them, to help them to regain them, and to reinstall them in society by getting them involved in some skills, in some centers, in some groups that we teaching them some real skills, and some of them were knitting, some of them were doing computers, some of them did some crafts that helped to give them some bit of income. And even we try to help some of them to do a bit of farming with the type of crops that is potatoes or beans or things that will help them to be able to have a source of income and keep them busy. We try to do that a lot through our Caritas office and through the Justice and Peace office and through the youth office. And this got good attraction from some of our benefactors and some of our partners who helped because they knew we were going through a very difficult situation. They understood what we were going through. And we got a lot of support to be able to help them to survive in those circumstances. And now I can say that the change, because we're so much in touch with those children, a lot has happened lately because we won their confidence, and now we can do a lot more for our young people, especially those who were not involved in the so-called crisis.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, away from the crisis, I just want you to talk a little bit. Are there some projects which the diocese has engaged in during this period?
Well, I can say during this period we have had, we have been, especially the last couple of months, we have been in our Jubilee year. And during this Jubilee year, we had as a team together on mission, go out to the whole world, proclaim the gospel to all creation. So we have tried at different levels to reassure the people that it is possible for us to do something for our communities together, that the faith has a powerful impact and influence on us. So we have had to mobilize the people. And I want to say, honestly, on a serious note, that the people have demonstrated great confidence in the power of the church's influence in their communities. And they have stood by us, and we worked together to get so many things going. To mark our Ruby Jubilee, we had some clear activities, but for projects, I would say that we had one key project. Our pastoral center was overly used, where people could go there when there was fighting, when there was insecurity. They went to our pastoral center and they used it and they stayed there, and we protected them and gave them food and so on. And this was overused. So we thought that maybe to mark the Jubilee of our diocese, we could put up some structures there that can contain and help people, especially when there are difficulties, when there are moments, especially for our formation in the faith. So we have a pastoral center where we have tried to we're going to put up a chapel, a Jubilee chapel, and all sorts of hostels that the people of God, all categories of the people of God in Kumbo, can come in and have an experience of God's power and love in their lives. That's really one of our major preoccupations during this Jubilee year.
Okay. Now, talking about this Jubilee, Ruby Jubilee, for the time being as the Bishop of Kumbo, what would you say, away from this crisis, what would you say were some of the successes that you have had all these years?
In the Diocese of Kumbo, I don't count success. We don't talk about success. But I want to say that during this time that I'm in Kumbo, I've succeeded to get the people of God to work a sense of collaboration between the people of God and the clergy and the religious. That we have to remember that we are a church, we are a family, we must learn to collaborate. And I have seen enormous change. That the priests have come to terms with, but they can collaborate and work well with the people in the small Christian communities, in the mission stations, in the Bishop Areas commissions, and in deaneries and so on. And that, in a very special way, they must have a sense of Presbyterium, a Presbyterium that has an atmosphere of love, of care, of solidarity for one another. I think Kumbo has tried and done a great job there. You feel a sense of family, of belonging among the people of God, and especially among the clergy and the religious. That I can see is something that's beautiful there in Kumbo. That stands out very clearly if you visit Kumbo.
Okay. And talking about this unity and bond amongst the priest and the religious, how is that bond between this same group of persons and the Christian community? How would you describe it?
Well, I would say that especially it shows itself off very clearly in the small Christian communities when you say that if the thing is happening, you see the people, if it's a birth, it's a burial, it's a celebration of any kind, you see that the people show up. They are there, they participate, and they bring in their faith to bear on all those situations. I can say very clearly that, the sense of belonging, of community has stood out very much in the Church of Kumbo. And it's something admirable, something beautiful to see. People. And being rural, being your brother's keeper, they are there for each other, and they have shown it. If you see some of the things that happened during this crisis, and you said the sense of communion of solidarity stood out and admirable, because some of the families suffered enormously, and you could see the others standing by them in their crisis, in the kind of drastic situation that happened to them. And it was remarkable. And I think it's because over the years they have built a sense of communion and belonging to one another.
Okay, now I will just have to go back on something just to find out, just to share with us, in the midst of these challenges, these difficulties, with the multiple lockdowns, the ghost towns, and then the road blockage and all whatnot, how did the church inspire hope in the midst of its Christians who were going through trauma? How did you manage to get to these Christians who at some point were inaccessible because of the situation on the ground?
Inaccessible, I would say yes. One thing is clear is that the people of God in Kumbo very clearly recognized that the church was present with them in those very difficult moments. When things happened, the people, they turned to the priest, they turned to the religious, they were present with them, to wipe their tears, to accompany them in the hospital, and roadblocks and all that. They could see we are present. I reached out to the people myself and I saw the priest doing that. Whether it was on a bike or on foot, it was normal. It was common, and we did that joyfully because you could see the great appreciation that our priests and religious and the bishops did not go away from them. They were present at those moments that you could, and they took risk. Sometimes at great risks because on those roads you met situations that you say a life was at stake. But I could see them, the priests and religious, going out to meet the people in those very difficult circumstances, through very difficult situations. And the people deeply appreciated that. That's one way. But also, of course, we try to solicit for help. It's not just going to come and preach the gospel, but there were situations where people needed food, people needed medical attention, people needed, call it a presence where you can say, reassure them, give them hope, counsel them, guide them. That was done enormously, and I think we formed counselors, we trained people who could be present to give psychosocial help. That was done to our Family Life Office, to the Justice and Peace offices, and we reached out to the grassroots. And I think it has done an enormous work. And it was there was great connections between what is happening, for example, what happened in Garbu, for example. We didn't have to go to Garbu because people in Garbu could inform us. This is what has happened to us. This is where we are. And you could have first-hand information about the life of the situation because there was that networking between us and our local situation.
Okay. Now, still on the incidents that happened within your area of jurisdiction, some priests have had a feel of this, not only in your diocese but in the entire province. Some priests have been arrested. Some have been beaten by both parties. How did you look at this situation? And oftentimes, on both sides, the priests, the bishops have been attacked, have been silent, and at one moment, they say they have gone silent for some reasons bestowed by. What do you think about all of this?
Well, you get people taking those opinions, but all I can say is that as a church, we have been witnessing to the people. We have been witnessing, and we have suffered on both sides. I can talk my own experience. The priests, there were priests who were kidnapped, who were tortured, who were brought to the camps and so on. I was tortured, not tortured really, but I was brought to the camp. And it was not a good experience. I can tell you, it was not a good experience at all. And when it turned around, it was, well, no, we did not really kidnap the bishop. The bishop was here on pastoral visit. And one of the things showed that the bishop on pastoral visit, they brought me a chicken. And the chicken, when the bishop goes on pastoral visit, they bring him gifts. And they go and bless the boys. And that's what it was saw as part of my pastoral visit. But the truth was that people have suffered because they were close to the people, we remained with the people. And you can either be a priest as a collaborator or as a black leg or whatever. Those things are called. What we encourage the priests is do not take sides. We must be on the side of the poor, on the side of the suffering people, and do not politicize the church. That's very important. And people want you to. I've had situations where in my pastoral visit, they say, Bishop, you must do arms so that you support our cause. I said, I cannot do that. They collect arms to give you to support your cause because if they collect money and give you, there are people in the church who do not believe what you're doing. What about that? So we have to be called a neutral role, but at the same time be professing the faith and witnessing, being a proper witness in the middle of the suffering people, but without taking side with any of those people. That's a very dodgy way situation to be, but that's what we try to do at one. But at the same time, being on the side of the truth, on the side of the poor, on the side of the truth, and on the side of the poor.
Okay. Now, Mano, talking about these accusations, there was sometime a video that trended in your diocese where you were seen praying for some group of boys who had some T-shirts and some inscription on them. That brought a lot of criticism to your person from the level of some people who said that showed that you were in support with what the young boys are saying. What do you have to say as far as that is concerned?
Well, the truth is that I meet the boys at all times. When I met them that time, I finished celebrating Mass, and usually when you celebrate Mass with the people, they come out, they dance. I was dancing with the people, I was blessing them. I didn't know that they were Amber boys. And all of a sudden, they themselves were the first filming me. And they filmed me, and later on I saw that they had the flag and so on. But on the road, practically every day, every time I go out, I meet crowd, I meet the military, I meet the boys. And I talk to them. They are my children, they are my sons and daughters. I cannot afford, all I appeal to them that there's deep respect for human rights. Respect for life, and don't do. But you know, that happened. People who do not know what exactly what happened and how I live in Congo and what we go through, they will not understand. But I can forgive them because they don't know what they're saying. But the truth is that we live in very difficult circumstances where you encounter them, they have their issues, and you all have to preach the message of God to them and appeal to them not to use violence, not to kill, not to this and so on. But I have no choice that I meet them. And sometimes I meet in circumstances where I myself am taken unawares. Like in this particular case, that video was taken a few days before the 1st of October. It was taken on the 29th of September. But they deliberately brought up on the 1st of October that I was celebrating with them. Can I withdraw it? I have no choice. But that's what was done. And people who do not know what my ministry is and what I stand for can draw their conclusions. I know in my conscience that I do not take part to take sides with anybody that promotes violence and hatred and so on, and kills. That's clear. But I cannot go around to everybody and start explaining to them what happens. But
Okay.
the truth will come out.
Okay, it is out already, my Lord. Now, basically, in the midst of all this, the Christians are gradually regaining hope. What is the message you have, particularly for the Christians of your diocese?
It's a beautiful thing that you said. People are getting hope. And we have lived through a very difficult time. And I can see signs of hope coming out. Because a few of the people are coming back home. My first appeal is that the people of the Diocese of Congo who have been out for so long, they need to come back and rebuild Congo. And that it is possible to rebuild Congo. Whatever the crisis, whatever the difficulties are, it is possible for us to rebuild Congo. And that it is only they who will help us to do that. One of the key things that I think that we really hope and pray for is that children should come back and go to school in Congo. Because I think our children have been overly exploited. It's very easy to go to and Congo has had brilliant performance in education in the whole country, but we have lost it. And those who are out there are being exploited, overly exploited. So I think it's important for them to come back home and we work within our means and they can still continue to shine. First, let people come back home, but more importantly, let the children be allowed to come back and go to school. And in Congo, there's a very beautiful environment and also the possibilities are there within our means for children to go to school. That is beginning to happen, and I'm going to appeal that it should happen more. That is, schools are beginning to open. St. Augustine's College is open already. There are other colleges that are opening. And there's a certain openness to allow schools to resume. Hopefully it continues. And if it continues, I think that's the beginning of life coming back into the Diocese of Congo.
Thank you so much. My Lord, recently the Diocese of Buea unveiled one of its projects, and the little feedback we have been having from some people is positive. What happened when you got to hear about the Divine Mercy television of the Diocese of Buea?
I have said already, it was first disbelief. But I want to first of all to congratulate the Diocese of Buea for this wonderful initiative that they have a radio television, Divine Mercy Radio and Television. And I think it's a remarkable project that you have embarked on, and I can only say congratulations. I am visibly impressed by what I have seen. And because I believe that this is a way now to evangelize. We have come to a stage where the media is the in thing that we have. And I'm very, very, very proud, having been a priest of Buea Diocese myself, to see how Buea has gone very far. You know, it's really remarkable. And I want to congratulate Bishop of Buea and all his team who have done this happen. And I will just pray and hope that it will go a long way to help in the whole mission of evangelization. Not only these diocese but beyond, because I think even in Kumbo that people who are watching it, and I hope that very soon many more people around the whole country will be able to watch Divine Mercy Radio and Television. It will be extremely beautiful project, and we congratulate it, and I think they will explore it more and more for the good of the gospel.
Thank you so much, my Lord. We are really appreciative of the fact that you could squeeze out time from your busy schedule to be able to talk with us about your diocese. It is our prayer, as yours as well, that schools actually effectively resume and then activities eventually gain their steam in your diocese. Thank you so much, my Lord, for being with us for this period. And we hope we are sure our viewers now have a picture of what is going on and how the church in your diocese has been striving throughout this period. Once more, thank you so much, my Lord.
It's my pleasure, and I'm very grateful. Once more, congratulations, and I wish Divine Mercy Radio and Television all the best, all the success in the work of the gospel.
Thank you so much, my Lord. Thank you, dear televiewers. At this point in time, we're going to draw the curtains of this special broadcast, and we leave you in the company of interesting programs on DMR TV.